So, who is the best players from the 2010s? From the 2010 season to the 2019 season? I've seen some recent information on the internet of the first, second, and third team that some people came up with, and I think it's absolutely blasphemous to see Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant on the third team uh, and put Carmelo on the second team. Really? No way. It's way off. I came up with my own list. It's not off my personal thoughts, but it's based off top five MVP votes each year during that time and the top five PER rating each year, the personal efficiency rating. And this is what, using those two, came up with. Number 15, DeMarcus Cousins. Before his Achilles injury, he was a 25 and 12 walking around in his sleep. Uh, Easily would get 3 or 4 assists a game to go with that as well. Uh, Him and Anthony Davis could have made a little run had he not got hurt. But in the end, we know the Golden State Warriors would have took him out. Uh, but as talented as he is, he definitely deserves in the top 15. Number 14, Damian Lillard. This guy gets overlooked every year by being in Portland. He never even comes close to the MVP votes. So that's why this may be a little off. I think he's better than number 14. But based on being top five in votes or top five in PER, he does not fall no higher than the 14th on this list, which is the third team. Number 13, Paul George. Number 13 is ranked number 13. He's had good years in Indiana before his injury. He came back. He looked really, really well. Had an MVP type season last season, though I think that's slightly inflated because playing with Westbrook, I think, helped his numbers out some. But granted, he was in the MVP conversation, had an injury, I believe, on his elbow. But I have him on my third team at number 13. Now, this is the one I don't exactly agree with, but early on, from 2010 on in this decade, he actually had really good PER numbers and was in the MVP conversation once or twice. So, yes, he is on the third team, and I won't say he's even the best one on this third team. But based on the ratings that I said I was going to use on this system, he is ranked number 12. Now, finishing the first on the third team was Carmelo Anthony. He had 2 or 3 seasons there at the beginning of this decade where he did a really good job, averaging as much as 28 points a game. He had one season that he was in the top five in MVP votes, and his PER rating that same season was decent. But most of the time, he has not played that efficient on the PER rating as some of the players do, as some of the top five players does on a every season basis. But nevertheless, it looks better with him being on this third team than what some of these other people put him on the second team. Well, that rounds out the third team. Now, coming in at number 10 on the second team is Kawhi Leonard. Now, obviously, his career kind of started slow. He didn't score big time points until after Duncan kind of fell off and he was kind of taking the torch from Tim Duncan on San Antonio. But nevertheless, he is one of the best two-way players in the game right now. He still, in my opinion, is not as good as LeBron. I don't care what anybody says. He's still not on that level. How easy people forget when LeBron misses because of an injury. But nevertheless, he has had enough success to be on the second team for this decade at number 10, based on this information. Dwayne Wade. Now, obviously, the way I like Dwayne Wade, I'd probably put him higher than that. But he did have some injuries that slowed him down a little bit. But the main reason why Dwayne Wade falls ninth on this list and not higher, uh, it has a lot to do with the fact that he joined LeBron James for 4 years. During those 4 years, LeBron uh, was getting the MVP votes as the best player on that team. Had Dwayne Wade stayed by himself, he would be much higher on this list based on this information. For the simple fact he would have got more MVP votes, and his PER probably would have been higher. But nevertheless, he is the man in my opinion. Kobe Bryant, he's also on the second team at number 8. Uh, had he not hurt his Achilles, he probably would have been a lot higher on this list. Obviously, from 2000 to 2010, he played at a lot higher level. I think winning a championship in 2010. But after that, he fell off after that injury. So he had about 3 or 4 good seasons there before he got hurt. And then after that, he was just a shell of himself. And his PER wasn't very good. His field goal percentage was really bad, and he was shooting about 7 threes a game and probably only hitting 2 or 3 of those a game. So that was the main reason why he didn't end up higher on this list. Russell Westbrook, triple-double threat every time he's on the floor. Uh, he falls at number 7 on this list. He's been in the MVP conversation several times. He's actually had a decent PER rating of 2 or 3 times. So he falls on the second team at number 7. And topping out the second team is Chris Paul. Widely known how good he plays defense and also how good he runs the floor as a floor general. He falls in mainly because of his age. Had he been maybe a little bit younger, he may have been a little bit higher on this list based on the information. For those of you that still in this video didn't catch it, this is based off top 5 MVP votes and PER rating, personal efficiency rating. Now, on to the first team. Based on this information, Anthony Davis, though he's only played 7 of those 10 seasons, he is in the top 5. A lot of people don't know this, but Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis have the highest PER ratings for their career out of anybody that's ever played the game. In that order, it's Michael Jordan, LeBron, then Anthony Davis. So he's very efficient. And obviously we know that he's a 30 and 10 with his eyes closed, and he could drop 50 on you on a given night. He falls at number 5 on this list based on this information. At number 4, Stephen Curry. Now, although I believe that Stephen Curry should be higher than this on this list, obviously it's based off the information that I showed you. He falls at number 4 on the first team. Been in several MVP conversations. I think he's won 2 of them. Also, we just know just how legit this guy is from downtown. There's nothing short of amazing what this guy can actually do. Following number 3, James Harden. Now, this is where I would have switched. Curry should be ahead of Harden. But nevertheless, James Harden has put up some pretty big numbers since joining the Houston Rockets. I think his first season with Houston, he was averaging over 28. Last season, he was averaging the mid-30s. So obviously, he puts up a lot of points. He does occasionally have a good PER. And the last 3 or 4 seasons has been in the MVP conversation and has won it once. So he falls at number 3. Number 2, Kevin Durant. Now, this guy right here would have made a better case for number 1 had he not joined the Golden State Warriors. That held him back for a couple seasons from getting very many MVP votes. But we all know who the man is. The best man of the 2010s, the best man of the 2000s, period, is LeBron